let's get to our Thursday night football game. For fans at large, this probably feels like your regular, crappy, horrible Thursday night football game. For bettors, this is like the Super Bowl of legal betting because you've got the Denver Broncos in a state with legal online sports betting, Colorado, versus the New York Jets in a state with legal online sports betting in New Jersey. So we got to break it down because there are going to be people who are listening to this in both of those states who are like, holy freak, I can bet on this. Like I can bet on this right now. So Broncos, we're talking about 2.5-point favorites right now, according to DraftKings, on the road, visiting the Jets. They might as well be called MESS, mess. Boop. I did that right there. Just thought of it as I was podcasting. Because this team is ugly.
Ugly. And this is one of those games where I was joking with a guy online. This is kind of night you take your girl out and you don't even got to watch this game because you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to benefit from watching. This is going to be a pro versus Joe's. All the pros, we're going to take the Jets at home on Thursday. And Denver, it's tough to really know what their deal is because they've been plagued by injuries since the start. I mean, as soon as I lost Von Miller, I knew all my futures on them were pretty much dead. And when you have two 0-3 teams like in this spot, of course I'm going to lean towards the Broncos because I think they're a more complete team. But I still love Sam Darnold, and I'm still going to ride the Jets even though they're just a train wreck. They have no offensive weapons. They're running a 40-year-old running back in Frank Gore that no one knows why. So people online are asking for, if you don't want to bet on this, a fun bet you can make is you can just bet on Adam Gase to be first coach fired. But I still think that Dan Quinn is my favorite first coach fired. I couldn't believe waking up Monday morning. I checked to see if my bet cashed on him being fired. Nope, Dan Quinn's back in the office.
Dude, shocker. Like I was texting with some other people on Sunday afternoon, and I'm like, how is Dan Quinn not fired by Monday morning? That's astonishing to me. How much could I have to screw up at Home Depot to get fired? That's what I thought of because the guy, Arthur Blank, who owns the Falcons, started Home Depot. I'm like, you might be able to be terrible at Home Depot and not get fired because Dan Quinn still having a job after these collapses, epic collapses, that's on the coach, dude. It's just on the coach. You are not getting your team ready to play in the second half. You are not reminding the things they need to do in the second half. You are not making the adjustments you need to make to ensure you can maintain a lead in the second half. It is astonishing to me.
Truly. And it's funny where I guess he's thinking, okay, if he can go up to Green Bay this week and he can get the win, I'll keep him, let him keep the job. But it just doesn't make sense why you just want to get rid of this guy. That's the worst. That is seriously the worst back-to-back games I can remember for a franchise.
I actually can't decide, who's more negligent here? Adam Gase for just being bad at his job. And, he might not have the horses, but even without the horses, the Dolphins last year didn't have horses, and they played their hearts out for Brian Flores. Adam Gase, it's like he's not even, connected to the team. And I don't know why. You just said the most outrageous thing. You still like Sam Darnold. Poor fella. I can't decide if you're the poor fella or Sam Darnold's the poor fella. But what gives you confidence in Sam Darnold?
Because he has nothing around him. He has seriously the worst O-line and skill position players, I think, in the league. If you go through the list of his wide receivers, you're not going to know a single name. If you do know a name, that's going to be a really old player or an old lacrosse player named Chris Hogan. And they have Frank Gore as his running back. So he's set up to fail. He's been set up to fail. And he has little plays, these flash plays where you can see his talent and what he can be under pressure. But I'm with you. This is the end of it for him, it seems like. It seems like they're going to tank this season. They'll draft one of these QBs up high, and then he'll be on a new team in a year or two. So it might be over for him for the Jets in the future, but I think he's going to do well on a different team in a different scheme with a better coach.